All right, here's example number 1. Your teacher messed up on your homework. So it asks you to list all the congruent angles and write a proportion that relates to corresponding sides. If you are asked to do this, they will always give you a similarity statement first. Notice that they just drew you the pictures right here, the 2 triangles. So you're missing something. This was my bad. You should have something like this. It should say like triangle JKL is similar to triangle PMN. Okay, so it will always give you a statement right there. Whoops. So we're just going to pretend that your teacher remembered and it was written right there. All right, so when they give you the statement, it's pretty easy to find the angles. So when you look at this, remember, similarity, if you have something that's similar, the angles are still congruent. The sides aren't congruent, they're different sizes, but the angles are still congruent. So that means our first angles are still congruent. J is congruent to P. So this angle right there is congruent to P right there. We also know that the second one, K, is going to be congruent to M. So we'll write K and M right there are congruent. And then our last one, we know that L is going to be congruent with N. So L right here, oh dear. L and N are both congruent. Okay, and that's just what they want you to write over here. The angle J is congruent to angle P. They want angle K is congruent. Angle K, sorry, 2 is congruent to angle M. And then angle L is congruent to angle N. Okay, so just write those down. We drew them on the picture, but they want you to write them out. Now the sides, there's a couple ways that you could do this. Basically, though, is what you're going to do is you're going to set this up as a proportion problem with 3 proportions here. Let's do purple here. So I'm going to go ahead and write it like this. So you've got 1 proportion, 1 proportion, 1 proportion. Basically, when I say proportion, I'm meaning a fraction. Okay, so we've got fractions going on right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to just call one of these triangles the top triangle and one of them the bottom. And it doesn't matter which one. It might, if they ask you for scale factor, the triangle that they do first are going to want on the top. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and write it on the top. For this thing, it doesn't matter, but later on it will. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to write my 3 sides of this triangle all on the top. Okay, so one side, this side right here, I'm going to call JK. It's the side that's between JK. So we're going to call that side JK. This side right here, we can call KL or LK. It doesn't matter how you call it. And this side, let's call LJ. Okay, now it does matter which side this JK lines up to. Notice JK, this was my side that was between my 1 tick and my 2 ticks. So I'm going to come over here to this triangle and I'm going to find the side between my 1 tick and my, 2 ticks right there. So that's the side between P and M, or MP, whichever one you want to write first. P and M right there. Okay, then KL was between the 2 and the 3. So we go between our 2 and our 3 right here. And we have an MN. And then that leaves our last one, LJ. Sorry, here's LJ. That's between my 1 and my 3. So we're going to go between our 1 and our 3, and we're going to write a PN right there. All right, so that's the proportion that relates all of those sides. Now, when we go on to solve this, like in our next question, you only need 2 of these. You're not going to be able to solve an equation with 2 equal signs. So you can either take those 2 or those 2, or the first and the last are also equal, so you could use those ones. But for the proportion problems that are all 3 equal, you just need to choose 2 of them.